Do your wrists hurt when you're on your hands and knees in yoga, like in plank, tabletop position, or downward facing dog? Well, today I'm going to show you some options and some modifications to try out that might help ease some of that discomfort so you can better enjoy your yoga practice. The good news is that as you build strength, not only in your wrists, but in your arms, your shoulders, your upper back, your wrist discomfort should ease up. But in the meantime, here are some things you can try. And hi, I'm Mikah. I'm a yoga therapist helping you stay strong, vibrant, and pain-free as you age. And I'm really glad you're here. Let's jump right in. So first, let's actually talk about how we're using our hands, our hand placement when we're on our hands and knees. One of the biggest mistakes I see in my students is what I call lazy hands. So I'm always talking about being more active through your fingertips and knuckles when you're on your mat. Okay, so lazy hands, this is what we don't want to do, is when you're not even using your fingers at all. And you can see, if you try this with me, if you just get down on your hands and knees and try this right now, and just let your fingers just kind of hang out without doing any work, you'll feel how all the weight shifts to the base of your palm, right? And that puts a lot of pressure on the wrist. So instead, what we want to do is practice shifting the weight more forward to the fingertips and knuckles. So really actively pressing down into the fingertips, knuckles, especially this thumb and index finger area. Okay, unless you have carpal tunnel, that might irritate it, so you can play around with that. We're actively pressing through the fingertips, and this is going to more evenly distribute the weight throughout the entire hand. Another way you can think about it is pretending there's a tiny little bug in the center of your palm, and it's a bug you actually like. So it's like a ladybug or a butterfly or whatever bug you don't want to squish, right? We do not want to squish this bug. So when your palms are down, we're trying to lift up in that area, lift up the center of your palm, almost like a suction cup off the mat. Okay, and it may not come up very high, but it's just the action of trying to lift the center of the palm that's going to help here. This will send some energy up your arm and take some of the pressure off the wrist. Okay, and then once you have all of that, we don't have lazy hands anymore. We've got active hands. Everything is strong. We're making that little suction cup. We aren't squishing the bug. Then without moving your hands, we're going to try to open the shoulders outward. Okay, so your fingers are spread wide on the mat, and the middle finger is straight ahead, give or take. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's the idea, right? So the hands stay there and they do not move. And then we pretend like we're opening up two pickle jars with each hand, and we are opening it outward. Okay, so again, the hand's not moving, but we're going to try to open that pickle jar and dial it outward, and you should feel a subtle opening of the shoulders. So try that with me and see how it feels. This should really activate the entire upper body. But if you're doing all of this and it's still not feeling good in your wrists, I totally understand. That's why I have some modifications now for you to try. When we're on our hands and knees in yoga, the wrist joint is at a very extreme angle. This is extension. So, and then we're putting our body weight on top of that extreme extension. It makes sense that it might not be the most comfortable position. So there are a few ways we can modify to take some of that angle out of it or out altogether. So let me show you. One of the first things I try is coming up on my fists. So you make fists, and you'll want to come up on the part of the fist that's by the knuckles, and the fingertips are facing towards one another. Okay? You can see this takes the angle completely out of the wrist. So this works for a lot of people. You can give it a try and see if it works for you. For some people, it's very uncomfortable on the knuckle area. So this might not be your modification, but if that feels fine to you, that's an excellent option. Another option is coming down to your forearms on the floor with or without blocks. I'll show you both options. So might be useful for different poses, right? So first, just down to your forearms. You can do a few things here. You can do a nice cat-cow. spinal balance or bird dog, whatever you call it, balancing table, lots of different names for that one. This one works excellent for downward facing dog because we have a pose called dolphin that's on your forearms anyway. Very similar benefits. Sending the hips up to the sky, no pressure on your wrists or hands at all. But you'll notice here that my hips are elevated quite higher than my shoulders, and for certain positions, we like to be on the same plane, right? So this is where the blocks can come in handy. You can either stack one row of blocks or two rows. Two rows can be really nice, but I know it takes a moment to get set up, so if you're doing a faster flow class, that might not be the best option for you. But look how great this is. Your arms, your wrists and hands, that is, can completely dangle off the blocks. So if you are dealing with any kind of arthritis in the fingers, the wrists, this can be an excellent option because there's absolutely no pressure at all. And any work on our forearms is really great for strengthening the shoulders and upper back. So that's an extra bonus there. Another way we can use yoga blocks to our advantage is to simply place them under our hands. And what this does is shift some of the weight to our lower body rather than so much on the upper body. So this works great for anything in tabletop position, especially in downward facing dog. This is an excellent, excellent option. As I mentioned earlier, the more strength we build up in the upper body, the better and more comfortable our wrists will feel. But this takes time, and there's a ton of yoga. There's a lot of yoga you can do that doesn't involve getting on your hands and knees in the meantime. In fact, I have several classes right here on YouTube that don't involve getting on your hands and knees at all. I'll put a link to one of them right here. If you enjoyed this video, then you will love my free 5-day Vibrant Body Yoga Challenge. The videos are beginner-friendly, only 10 minutes long so you can easily fit them into your day, and each class focuses on a different area of the body. The link is down in the description, and once you sign up, I'll send you an email right away with all of the details. Again, it's completely free, so I hope you can join us. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time.